Hello everybody, now we're into the Blood Rush League Season 2. We see Temporary face off against Sinister. This is actually Temporary's pick of the Cenobite on the Wrecker's Yard, and so they'll be playing the killer first. Cenobite will be pushing into the Corrupt Intervention if it would usually spawn, but actually not deciding to bring Corrupt, so quite an aggressive build for Cenobite here. And just heading towards 9, talk about the builds.
You summoned me.
So they have the Blood Favor
I
and
came.
Pentimento without the Ruin, so actually deciding to choose Sloppy Butcher and Pain Resonance over Ruin, which is usually quite an effective slowdown perk. Um, Usually, if you have a killer that Sloppy's good with, you also would want to try and pair it with Ruin as well, because and the slowdown, passive slowdown of the Cenobite and Sloppy works, and the Ruin also works as well. We take the chase onto Yui here, who decides to greet our Rock Filler, and actually will be able to dodge the chain. So a bit of an unfortunate start for Adolfs here, but we'll manage to get the, I believe that was either the life or the sprint burst off the pallet here, and actually maybe just holding the W key and predicting the Cenobite there, but to no avail as they take the M1 here. They're forced to play the Broken Bus, which is unfortunately the weakest bus tile that can spawn on the Wrecker's Yard, or just in Auto Haven in general. But actually we see the first generator completed already, so it must have been doubled, because I don't think it's possible for a generator to be single-handedly completed with that time, and Yuri will unfortunately go down on the Broken Bus, but enough time for actually 2 generators to be completed here. That's actually insane. It does show you one of the downsides to not bringing Corrupt, and again that downside is the generators being worked on very quickly. I think we did see the topside generator at 12 get completed, which was not part of the crop. So we also saw the generator at around 6 get popped, which would have been part of the crop, but again, 8 orbs just didn't decide to pressure the generator, and instead just took the chase onto Yui, and we did see the Blood Favor also cleansed, and the Pentimento applied as a response of the Blood Favor cleanse. And we actually do see Lara here just waiting around, and I would assume that our Tap as well, being around here, was trying to pressure the Pentimento around the hook. So I think 8 orbs is in, as I say, is in a like a decent spot here. They can get oh my gosh, they can pressure 2 survivors at once, and actually the unhook and the quick tunnel out will come through, since the original pain is indeed one of the add-ons brought by the pinhead, which will allow the survivor to go into the deep wound after they are chained in the ancient state. So because of that, that will mean that if you chain them and they break a chain while they are still in the borrowed time endurance, then the deep wound will make sure that the endurance will wear off, because you're in deep wound. So the endurance doesn't really work in deep wound unless you have Metal of Man, but that's a different kind of effect. So it'll just be the second hook for Yui here, and Pain Resonance applied. But I think our survivors can still look at this in a positive direction, because they have 2 generators done, which the 2 generators were split on opposite sides of the map. So I don't think the potential of 3 gens of a strong 3 gen will be available for Killer here. So I think we did see our Tap just reset the deep rune in the distance. So perhaps a reset will come onto him, as we perhaps see other survivor here, which was the one not going for the reset, go in for 1-for-1. But perhaps that, yes, I'm not entirely sure. You do see Lara here perhaps coming in towards the hook, and actually this will be a 2-man save, as they call it in the business. You see one person go in for the unhook, and the other person in the background actually not going for the 2-man save. But it will allow our Shark Palette to be dropped. Actually, an FTP coming in from the Levy here. Unfortunately, I think he is French, so I I don't know whether to pronounce his name Levier or but anyway, he'll just go down in the basement, forcing the locker and the basement hook. And I don't know if our pinhead will be able to make it back to our slug lava in time, and it will not be the case because they do get picked up. I think this is a good transfer of pressure from our survivor side here.
I
They did manage to nicely transfer the tunnel out to the healthy state while putting tap the broken state for people there. But I believe second wind is not allowed the spinhead, so will not be seeing second wind on the tap. And anyway, that was too early. Second wind to activate, since the second wind perk will only activate when you're not broken, when you're unhooked. So for the people does leave you broken for I think 1 minute or 45 seconds. I don't remember if they buffed it. Anyway, it will leave you broken for enough time that if you're unhooked pretty early, then you will not proc the second wind because you'll still be broken as you're unhooked. So you won't be able to get the effect. Now we did see broken effect wear off from Levy there, and no health state change into the healthy state. Again, Yui, our Tunla will be chased here, and no resets actually coming through onto our survivors yet. So perhaps they're pumping out generators for the 99 shield, and Yui here will probably just go down on this rock filler. And yeah, we did see the generator from the distance. So Yui will take the death for this generator, and actually we did see our survivors also pressuring the generator at 3, perhaps wanting to get this done before Yui does die, which will make it significantly easier since they don't have to pressure it while in the injured state. And the generator that just got finished in the distance did manage to see a reset come off right after. So 2 survivors on the other side, probably resetting. And the sloppy butcher will slow that down significantly. You will be dead at 3 minutes, and our survivors will have to take stock of the situation. Have 2 injuries, which they probably want to reset. They did reset one of them, and Lava here will take the next chase. She is an available pain res. Actually, all of the survivors here are available for pain res, since Tap, who went down in the basement, did not proc a basement pain res. And actually, this will be Lava going down quite quickly after the after Pinhead does change him. Pinhead, sorry, a bit of hiccup. 8 orbs will take the pain resonant onto them, which will probably hit the 3 generator as the box gets sold in the background at 12. So, kind of, I guess, would understand where everyone is at the moment. The one survivor is working the box, and the other survivor kind of has to pressure this high progress generator, otherwise it's going to go down all the way to 0 if you leave it for enough time. So, do know where both survivors are as of right now, and actually at that, deciding to pop the spin burst and maybe get away, but get tagged for it actually, not being able to avoid that chain. And I think Chase will resume onto tap here is he is an active pain res and is injured, so perhaps he'll just be going down on the edge map as he gets chained, and yep, will be put onto the second hook. A nice point tech there to waste a little bit more time, force the killer to walk that little bit of extra distance in order to make a pain resonance, which actually this might be a pain resonance close, but we'll have to see, because it is not a pain resonance. So Levy will be put onto the second hook and no pain resonance, so that generator at 3 will still have fairly high progress, and we'll have to see where this pans out, because only one generator has been completed since Yui had been pretty much gone from the first hook to complete death, because yeah, the first 2 generators did get popped for the first chase, which is again quite incredible. But the unhook does come on to the tap here, and so since knowing that the tap is death hook, Pinhead 8 orbs probably just head back to try to find him. We do see tap here serving the spin burst, popping at last second, maybe able to make the pallet here, which actually has been reset, I believe. You did drop the pallet earlier in chase, but now it's back up, so it must have been any means necessary on these guys. Always funny to see that perk in action. Let me hit nicely camping the pallet, and actually does manage to avoid the chain and takes the vault on the truck pallet, and unfortunately losing his 50. I think mean that he does go down. Yeah, it will mean that he does go down. So this will be the 3rd pain resonance of the trial. Perhaps this generator on 3 will manage to get completed for this, but apparently not, because the pain resonance does come through on the generator, and the generator is not complete yet. So our Pinhead will just check a gen here, set at 11, which actually is the one that got pain resonance, which is good to that it was starting to regress. So actually our 3 generator has been completely abandoned, so now survivors will probably have two generators with semi-high progress as our Vanato does take the live of the TL window and heads towards Solar Palace with the camped greed drops, since you don't usually want to greed pallets versus a pinhead. And I think this will be a somewhat quick tag here, but our pinhead does miss a chain and decides to perhaps leave and check this generator yet again at the boss and sees our lava pre-running off this. And I don't think they have much to work with except this pallet and this atrocious falling setup which they had, but they actually decided to jiggy it to the truck pallet instead and or just tree drop it, which I don't know if that was exactly the play, because they just will immediately just go down and allow the slug to occur. So I don't think this 11 generator will get done in time, since I think since the painless came in. Oh, but I eat my words, because the 11 generator does get done in time, and Avenato will take the final chase of the trial here, trying to eke as much as they can out of the chase, but we'll take the first M1, maybe 10 seconds in, and we're kind of forced to play this matchstick style, and not really many safe pallets left for Avenato to use as they decide to take chase at the shack here. Actually, just pre-running, and Cenobite player, a pinhead player, does actually pre-bulb the shack window, so we'll manage to buy a little bit extra time. Going for the shack window yet again. Perhaps they will get destroyed here by the second add-on, which is okay. Let me see if I can remember. So there's the original pain, and then there's I forgot the name, but it's the one which will force the survivors to get chained again if they break it using their vibe. So, but fortunately for Venato, does not get does not lose the distance at Shackman. But anyway, Pinhead actually kind of losing Venato here as they completely W keyed away from the TL, and instead will make the shack window yet again. Oh, and actually we'll miss a chain there, does Pinhead, since the generator was used nicely as a blockage. And now they're kind of just forced to play Struck Pallet perhaps, or maybe trying to make it back to Shack. Cenobite will break the pallet. I think it's a good pallet to break, it's quite strong, and take the chain onto Renato yet again on the matchstick. And I'm kind of forced to play this TL here, but actually serving the juice right there, taking the vaults and role playing between Renato there. But I'm not sure if he'll make anything else, and I think he understood that trying to FOV tech, and it'll be the final down actually. It's a good chase from Renato, but unfortunately at a time where it wouldn't have mattered because 4K1 is still in effects. And I guess this is a pretty good result from Temporary's killer here, because I believe Cenobite is on the records yard is not really the strongest killer. Although it is quite a small map, it's kind of difficult to secure the downs, especially when it's pretty pallet dense. I would say pretty pallet dense map, and you generally for pallet dense maps for low tier killers, what you can do is you can throw the pallets down early into the trial, and then after the pallets are all gone, then you can start using the health states as resources instead. Since the generators have been completed, you can kind of reset in those safe areas rather than risking a reset in the active generator area. But anyway, 4K1 from our temporary killer here, and I mean a solid result, I would say. And we'll have to be seeing what our Sinister killer can do against our temporary survivors. Now, it was temporary's pick, so I would usually expect a win from the side that picked the set, but who knows what will happen, because temporary survivors could make a mistake, or Sinister's killer could play really well. Welcome back, everybody, into Blood Rush League Season 2. We see Sinister's killer now fighting it out to try and get a 4K1 tie condition, or if any side can achieve better, be the win for them. In Temporary's pick of the Cenobite on the Vekas yard, and Yet again, we see the choice of no corrupt. Actually, it's just exactly the same build that our previous killer Adorps did decide to bring into the trial, and we do see now double trouble on the Cenobite, pushing aggressively into the top side, trying to find any signs of life, which I think he did, because they didn't see the crows left. They didn't see any crows around this area, so some survivor must have been there, which was the case. He did find Antagnia, who just stood still completely, as actually now we do see another survivor run in here. So that tap, perhaps going for a body block or something. I don't really know because completely done now, and Dub will just take the break onto the strong pallet on the left side of the map, and Nia will be just chasing around the I would say uncorrupted side, but technically everything's uncorrupted. So we'll just take it down onto Nia, and so be a first hook. And no need to worry about a palisade because of the blood paver, which has been brought into both trials, but not cleansed yet. We just see the blood paver on 9. I think our Nia must have called it out. Because I think that was the only reason that they were stealthing in the area was that they had to move off the totem as they heard the Discover radius get closer. But you see the first hook coming in at 5 gens, and this is a much better start for Sinister's killer, since two generators haven't popped yet, and we'll be swinging for the tap for this filler power, and it's actually come through, and Outback also come through from Tub, and just be heading back to Hook, trying to catch a rotation from Survivor Team down Hook, which doesn't seem to be the case. No scratch mark or signs of life have been seen from our survivors, so what I'd be guessing is that they're sitting patiently, sitting generators, or of course, sitting the blood paper totem, which has just been cleansed at 9. So really, I think there's probably one generator that is going to be popping soon. We see Mr. Ace there, not on the comp base, pretty rare to see a non-comp ace in comp. But anyway, they'll just pop the spin burst on the edge map to force Killer to leave yet again, and we'll probably just be securing this second stage onto Nia here as they do pop a generator. They do want to try and get as many generators done as possible, try and preserve the health states as well. And then they can start taking and using the resources later on when the generators are completed, in order to preserve the tunnel out survivor for as long as possible. But we do take the Pentimento as we do kind of want to pressure two survivors here. And I think Pinhead Pinhead here is kind of playing quite aggressively, not really paying attention to the hook, and I think this would have been a really ideal timing for our survivors to have gotten a fast unhook and an DP in, which unfortunately doesn't seem to be the case because Pinhead will take the tag onto Ace here. Which I think what they want to do was to try and tunnel out Nia very aggressively and take the chain onto them, force them into the deep wound so their endurance would wear off. But again, it's not the case since they missed and decided to take the tag on Felix. And another quick chain will come through onto Nia here, and I think they'll just be going down quickly. But, a tap can come in out of nowhere, taking the big block instead. Another sloppy butchy tag applied to the survivor side. Yeah, because these survivors have not, I was gonna say, have not used the powers that will be available for Nia, but they're kind of forced to play the short side of the jungle gym, and actually we'll be dropping that not in time, so leave the death onto Nia at 3 gens left, and slightly worse spot for our survivors to be in than from the last trial, which is I think an extra injury state from our survivor side, an extra generator completed, so our killer here can really get something going. As really preventing two generators from popping in this one spot is not impossible, with Sloppy Butcher still in play, and actually 3 paid resonance also available for them. So our tap here will be taking the next chase at the 12 side of the map. Still is a pretty pretty generator heavy side of the map to be dying in. So not really sure about this death spot for our tap here, since it's going to be a little bit difficult for our survivors to be pressuring this 3 or even 4 gen, which seems to be available for our killer. And we'll see a 3 run from Ace, but it's Claudette actually, because No blood, so it was indeed our ace on the other generator at around 5. So this yet another generator done if they can keep on generator. It will be the tie condition met. And Dalp just looking for survivor with that chain there, but not managing to find anyone. So I was actually mistaken, sorry, that hook is on 12, not 6. My bad. And we'll see Asia trying to get a tag onto them. Perhaps get the deep wound applied. That will be an extra 12 seconds wasted that they'll have to be mending for. So it would be nice to get that, but unfortunately didn't miss. And no generators are being worked on though, so it's good for our killer. They do know that this 4 gen here is not being worked on by anyone. Since they know the location of every single survivor, so it's kind of a very difficult position actually for our survivors to be in. They can't really rotate for this 4 gen. At the same time, they can't really go rotating for the heal because they're kind of split up completely on like opposite sides of the map. We see, I think our Claudette is on our 5 side, and then we saw clash marks at around 10 from Ace trying to perhaps go in for pull or trying to rotate. For I guess Shack Gen, we did see him start the Shack Gen. Well, again, kind of just caught out of rotation. There's not really much that she could have done because, like, she's just caught in such a bad spot. She has to rotate all the way across the entire map if they want to go in, try and get an unhook or start the generator. So, Pinhead will just take the tag and probably just head back to hook, try and find our ace here again. Perhaps caught out of position from the rotation since the unhook does come in. So yeah, again, it's just a very difficult position to be in for the survivors. Again, I think if were they aware of the generator situation of the really nasty top side 3 gen that Pinhead had available to them, they would have probably wanted to go down in the bottom side of the map and then alleviate a lot of the pressure from Cinebar here, because pretty much at this point they can just camp hooks and commit to chasing quite freely since the 4 gen is so stupidly good. So again, our tap here will be taking the chase, and we'll just have to play out this box over here. Not really anything else for them to make. So just taking the M1 down as we did see the box, I think, being solved in the distance. So I think our survivors here probably have to be pumping out the one of the generators in the 4 gen. But actually, Dub Drop does decide to go to the further hook. So probably be a pain resonance, which will halt the progression of the high progress generator by 20%. So I don't think another generator can be done in this trial unless Stub Trap does overcommit to a survivor, because in a 2v1, especially with 2 injuries, I don't think it's possible to get another generator done despite the high progress that no doubt at least one of these generators must have. So Dub will decide to leave Asia, and we'll catch our Claudette working this deep 6 generator. And yeah, it just seems like they got nothing to run to. There's the best available. They'll just be taking the M1 down and slug, because actually double drop. Well, not slug, so my bad. They'll just take the quick hook on the 6 gen, which is not painless unfortunately, but be dry cooking the 6 gen and probably heading over to Shack because the other generator that must have progress. We're just unsure entirely how much, as we saw 6 had around 40 to 50%, and Shack probably around the same. Oh, actually on 0, so Shack is just on 0, and I don't think it's possible for our survivors to get another generator done. But again, magic can happen, and maybe Ace can work the 6 generator while Claudette does stay on hook. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but actually the unhook will come in. So yeah, now again, Dub knows where both serves are, and probably just go for a slug on the next down and guarantee the 4K2, which is the most likely result in this scenario. But actually losing both survivors, and will just be forced to chase Asia, which did unfortunately show themselves. So we'll be taking it down quite quickly on the that 6 tile. And actually just deciding to hook is, again, I'm not really sure why. I could just easily go for a slug and look around with the pinhead's changing power, which does give them an extra, like, I'd say 60 meters of reach just to be looking around anywhere. But yeah, taking the hook onto Ace, not a pain as yet again, but I don't think a pain as would be necessary at this point in the game. Trying to find Claudette now. pushing out into the 9 area, using the chain. Try and find any signs of life, which I guess is the correct play to do since Billy Claudette, yeah, could have been stealthing over there, but it seems not to be the case since the unhook comes in. Uh, and at this point now, I think the generator at 6, which was around 50%, which is pretty good progression, has been just completely decimated by the dry kick, and probably is going to get 0% at this point. So, sorry, my bad. Sort of now take the inventory drop on the rock filler and just run away. Again, kind of forced to play into this top line setup here, and that isn't really much confused, and they don't really make anything else. Maybe a bit of mind games here from Florida. Taking a nice carving, but nearly managing to spin Sinister Killer here, but just go down. Calm players usually don't fall for reflex, but sometimes they do happen. Pretty rarely, but they do happen. As the second hook of Claudette's will come in. So now the question is, where's Ace? Because he could be anywhere at this point. He could even be working the 6th generator. It's not impossible. Again, it's not impossible that he's working a generator, and trying to pump that out. Because again, if they get another generator done, this will actually be a tight mission. And okay, no, never mind. He's spotted. He's spotted over here on the 9 tower. So it's really the last chance we can think. The burst will come in, but won't really be able to make much as the struggle trim is used. I think he's got one more filler palette available, but that should be a down, I think. That would just be a down one. The ACS, so it'll be 4k2 from Sinister's Cenobite here, so well played to Sinister for taking the set off their opponent's Tepui here, because this is not Sinister's pick, in fact, this was Tepui's pick on the Cenobite. And just good gen efficiency from Sinister, I believe, on the survivor side. Managing to get 2 generators done for the first was crucial for them to keep up the pressure throughout the entire match. But we'll be heading into Sinister's pick just after a short intermission.
Hello, and welcome back everyone to the second half of Sinister vs Temporary, the second set. We will be seeing Dub Trouble on the Hillbilly. This was Sinister's pick of choice, but we're seeing a weird add-on combination here, Tavi. Not the usual expected add-on combination that you see. How do you feel about it? Thompson's mix instead of Boots?
Okay, so what I'm looking at the add-on combination here, this is actually an add-on combination that was forced by Daylight. Just when the Hillbilly got buffed, they were kind of forcing the engraving and the mix here, which
Yeah,
does
interesting.
seem to pay off here, yeah, because down just goes onto, I believe there's a few.
Yeah, personally, I'm not much of a Billy player, but when I do play him, I do run Thompson's mix because boots are a little bit too much for me. But what's your personal preference here? What would you usually run?
I know all the good Billies run the boots, because the boots just give you really good match reversal, and it's really scary when you can also just like get around that generator, for example, which Dub might have been able to make if he had boots, but unfortunately had to stop a bit short there. But gets the knife down onto Nia, and we'll just head back to try and get Newcomer out onto A here. Not A Felix, unfortunately. I usually look at the outfit and say Felix, because Felix.
I was gonna say I thought this was Felix before, so I was confused. But yeah, it is an ace. We are finding our ace and just plopping him on the hook here towards the front of main. And I believe we're just gonna go straight to the 5 side of the map here, try and spot out the Matchstick Spurpin that we downed earlier, but it doesn't look like we spot them out just yet, and it looks like we do actually. This is our Nia Matchsticks. They just have to run a pretty juicy chase here for as long as possible. But no, it looks like we're going to drop and go back to Crane's Hook here. Actually going to the 10 side of the map, seeing if we can possibly spot anyone out working this gen. Doesn't look like it.
I think Dub here was also just trying to check the Ruin Totem. Actually, wait, hold on. There's a little bit of a bug on the
it's not a bug, it's a camo. I'm pretty sure camo would have procced.
Camo, oh no. So there's an extra 32 seconds.
Yeah, on the hook. That is insane.
It is insane, but unfortunately the downs have happened so fast. I think onto our ace there. The 32 seconds will be a little best for our survivors, because really, again, this second hook for our ace.
Yeah, at 4 gens,
it's, yeah,
you do got a point. And I feel like 32 seconds isn't really going to do much for our survivors unless they're out here all cranking different solo gens, pre-leaving in time, etc. But if, like, as we say that, look, there's 2 people spotted out here, it's looking quite rough for temporary survivors already. And I believe Crane's hook timer will be going back to normal now.
Yeah, so he would just be resuming on the struggle state. I think Hillbilly will just try and secure the death here. Usually as Billy, you want to try and secure the death as quickly as possible since the map traversal and instant down capability of his power just really makes slugging a really effective strategy. And actually, our survivor's going in for double unhook here.
That is
and, it'll be a double slug as
insane.
well.
Oh my god. And I know my other player is just going to be force picked here just so they cannot pick themselves back up. But we do already know where our tunnel out, who is Crane is, going into the main building. But I'm pretty sure Dub knows that they're going to be zoned towards 11 or 1. They've got nowhere to really go. They have time to pick up this hook towards mid, and then go look for Crane, I believe.
I'd say it's a pretty smart play, I guess, to delay the tunnel out of Ace here, since he was death hook. And pretty much the 2 survivors we have on hook are 2 survivors that can pick themselves up. Since
Yeah,
you
very
saw
good point.
the no mither on the tap, and that's the Deliverance, of course. On the Zarina, the girl with the medkit, usually you'd want to say that they're Deliverance, and
Yeah, I
also
agree with you.
since Deliverance Unbreak is not banned, you probably see Unbreak as well. So smart play from our survivors.
But yeah, it looks like we've lost Crane here, and we're just opting to commit to our Torbs over on this car, and we are almost getting a beautiful clip from Dub, but not quite yet. Dub, come on, give us the clips. We need to see this. We do see a life usage come in here over on the main building from Altorbs, who is your ideal tunnel out if you're playing Billy, because they are no Mither. But it looks like we're just going to drop this, go towards the one side of the map, and see if we can spot anyone out here.
Yeah, and the ruin is gonna get more powerful the more you kind of just leave chases. So
I agree.
just kind of forcing the survivors to guess where you're gonna rotate to next. Exactly. And
And
as I
here we
say
go.
that,
We
Nias
see
is
a
caught
guess
out
come through, yeah.
sleeping. Yeah, and this will be another fresh hook on the board for Dub here. Just really no reason not to take the hook. You just leave him on the ground. You don't really know, if you leave him on the ground, you don't really know where anyone else is. So
Yeah, good point.
good play to just pick them up, get them on the hook. Potential for them to be also tunneled out later, but
We see
we do
someone
Boot
here
actually
with...
and some blood.
Yeah, we see some blood here on the 10 side of the map, and it looks like someone is just trying to play this tile to the best of their capabilities. And we haven't spotted them out just yet, but we do know what they are at the backside of this tile. This could be anyone, because we do have 4 injured across the board, and it is our tunnel out, who is Crane here on the death hook, having to play the edge map filler here. How old do you think he's going to play this out, just off first impression? Because he is break zone.
I think he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. I agree with you there.
Unless he has DH. Plus DH on
Oh,
the... Nope.
nah, no
Okay.
DH.
Unlucky. Well, I was gonna say maybe he has the DH because if we look at the builds, Zarina will probably have Sprint Burst to overcome.
Yeah.
Neo would have the opposite. Actually, since it's a build, he wouldn't even have overcome at all.
Yeah,
So
no,
probably
I've
have
seen
Sprint
people
Burst.
run it a few times, but it's really rare to see overcomes now, especially when Dead Hard is allowed. In some
Yeah.
leagues where where Dead Hard isn't allowed and overcomes allowed, most teams will run it, but in here it's rarely seen.
Yeah. Because we did see light on tap actually, and actually there's 2 generators down as well. And attempt of an FOV coming in from Zavini here, but they'll just be put on the hook. Again, not really something you're gonna fall for in comms, but again, does happen quite rarely. Actually, I'll just take the time there to point out the medic that Zavini has, which I believe you can acquire if you got the Meet Your Maker and did some dookie and managed to sync your account and
Yeah.
play Meet Your Maker. So anyway, nice to point that out.
And good. I just wanted to say that's very well played from our survivors, being able to pop 2 gens and keep their pressure up against one of the strongest Billies in my opinion, Dub Trouble, the controller goats. When I found out that this guy plays Billy on controller, I was face palming a little bit, but I'm just shook.
So, Mr. Hearts, you're telling me that this Billy is on control.
Yep, controller player.
Okay, I honestly would not have believed you at the start, because I think the curves are being quite precise. I guess that might be a reason why they don't entirely prefer the boots. But again, you can see why the boots would have come into clutch there, because if they had boots, they would have been able to make that turn without bumping into the wall. But not really. not really much of a difference here as the Xena just gets down off this Whipburst box, and quick hook will come onto them. I think they're dead, so not really necessary to slug them if you can just kill them. And
Yeah,
go
very good
back to
touch.
hook with the like 13 meter per second chainsaw, which I still think is ridiculous, but anyway.
Yeah, we say this is ridiculous, but then Chucky gets nerfed. So, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, just gonna go
Yeah.
over towards the 9 side of the map where we do spot out matchsticks here. Not the ideal survivor you wanna... Oh no, sorry, this is Altorbs here that we spot out, which is probably the ideal survivor you wanna find, put him on a hook, and call it a day, because this person is no mither. No mither allows you to pick yourself up after a long amount of time of being on the ground and recovering. So if this person is slugged on the floor, they will just have the opportunity to pick themselves up. But it looks like they have ran towards the 11 side of the map here, and we're probably just gonna drop chase here and look for matchsticks.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the Hillsbury did bump on there, but seems like they just got destroyed by the Auto Haven hitboxes. A lot of the junk tiles here have like some weird
Yeah, they
collision
have
and
like
stuff sticking
weird
out.
collision, I agree. And they've got like sphere hitboxes, like you can tap on anything on the side here.
It's an M1.
Oh, forcing the dead hard
DH.
from matchsticks, very, very nice.
Okay. Close. But I guess we know who the DH survivor is, and I guess that means Ace is probably Valentine. It's not really many better unfortunately to put on. Anyway, Nia just gonna get slugged here. As we head back to 11, check where our tap is. Probably around there. But he's no middle, so he's gonna be a lot harder to find.
Yeah, very good for
Even
him.
though if he was healthy, it'd be easier to find. An injured, he's gonna be a little bit harder to find.
But as you say that, we see this gen cranking, and I believe we saw like a tiny bit of scratch marks just fade away on this 10 gen here, but doesn't look like we spot anyone out just yet. Dub
Yeah, it
having
seems
this
like our tap
suspicion
is.
that Altorbs is probably on the 11 side of the map or behind main, so it looks like that's where we're going to check. And as I
Oh, and
say that, we
actually
get a
finding that.
beautiful snipe onto Altorbs here, spotting out our no mither player, knowing where we've down matchsticks, making this a 4K2 confirmed most likely. How do you feel about this result, Harvey?
I think 4K2 is pretty solid. I actually did have a look at. Sorry, I did cast I think another Billy set earlier on in the season, and I think I saw some stupid results coming in. I think saw like a 7 stage one time, and also like another 4K2 coming in
Yeah, I
from
think
a
4K
different hillbilly. So
Yeah, 4K2, 4K1 has been the average that we've been seeing on this map, and a lot of people did tell me that Gashaven expected for Billy in his current state would be like a 4K1, 4K2, 4K0 even. So it's honestly a very, very nice result. Something like probably the best you could secure on a map like this. So very, very well played from Dub Trouble here.
well, if Temporary can secure the victory from Sinister's pick of the killer here, that would be really good for them, making it a 1-1 tie. But we'll have to be seeing if that's the case because we'll have to go to a short intermission as our next match is set up.
Hello, hello, and welcome back to the second half of our second set here. We do see Crane playing the Billy for Temporary on Gas Heaven against Sinister Survivors here. We are spotting out Very Person super early into the set, and let's see if we can get this down real quick, because this is literally what we need here. They have had a terrible first game, and the second game's got to go a little better for them to go to the tiebreaker set.
I don't know whether I'd say terrible, but definitely not ideal.
Yeah, not an ideal
Going
game.
into a 4K2 on the set which you didn't pick, and going into like any win condition, especially if it's not like above average, you're kind of scared because you're gonna expect the survivors to not make mistakes. And as I say that, of course, Nicolas Cage on the no that just get down to 7 stars. This is not 7, it's actually 5, my bad. But yeah, he'll just go down, and that's a relatively fast down. But luckily for us survivors, Billy has brought a bit of bit slightly different book with the corrupt intervention instead of the dying light, which will make Flesh Owner Pop slightly slower. But I guess it doesn't matter because the first survivor's booked already. So
Yeah, that's why I don't really prefer Corrupt on the Billy here, because you usually get your first down relatively fast, meaning Corrupt doesn't really get any usable value. But it's a unique choice. It's nice to see sometimes.
it's nice to see sometimes you see the more confident abilities not being corrupt, and that's what I do like to see from from the killer sets is when they don't bring corrupt because it's like the stock standard build, the perk choice. for the survivors. Actually, on Nick Cage, we'll pop I think the light here off the main building window, which is spawned on the I guess I wouldn't say wrong side, but actually does manage to dodge and avoid the body block
And I think that
perfectly.
was
So
a
we'll manage
smash
to
hit
take
or a sprint burst coming into, which is absolutely insane value. I don't know how that hit didn't collide with our Nicholas here, but it's very, very unfortunate for our killer.
Yeah, so if it was indeed the smash hit, then probably DS as well, but it's actually not DS. So I guess I'm not sure what exhaustion this Nick has. It's definitely either a smash hit
Smash hit or a sprint burst, I'm pretty sure.
or like live or something.
He didn't vault
Yeah,
anything though. It would have been smash hit or SB.
yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it's strange, but actually Ruin does get cleansed here. So lucky for survivors, they managed to avoid the fill of the hunt on the first
Oh
turn, so they don't
no,
have
and
to
do you see
withstand.
that glowing on the hook? You know what that is?
Right,
Camaraderie.
okay, so
Camaraderie coming in.
they're chasing the camera survivor first again, and we do see the first general pop stuff called that, who doesn't have much to work with. It's just this
Well, that was a
oh,
beautiful down.
this is not a Claudette. I'm sorry, I was thinking this.
Yeah, the
No,
fun
this
gets
is
spot out here on a pretty terrible tile to play by all means. Yeah, how do you feel about this tile ever since it got updated, having the palette in the middle? I severely dislike it.
I don't mind it too much. It's just that it's like a jungle gym, but like a crap jungle gym. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
that's what I
jungle gym. You can
mean.
like break line of sight. You can
This
like
one you
play the
can't really
Ryoji
do that
styles.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a 4 lane as well. But then again, suffers from the same problem. Like you can't really break line of sight. Like the only reason you want to break line of sight is to play the window. Anyway, I don't really like it that much. I feel like it
Yeah.
definitely could have been a bit innovative, but I guess doesn't matter because Fung did just go down on it and he did get unhooked. And Levy here will just be waiting out
Waiting the
the
dead
DH.
hard, yeah, expecting a
The
DH.
it's great.
But this is a much better start compared to Dub Trouble start because we actually do tunnel out the no either player first, meaning we can play from a slugfest going forward here. And it looks like a very person has revealed themselves for some reason, but it looks like we're not going to be committing to them. Just going to be looking for our two healthy survivors here, which are Dub Trouble and our ace here, who I cannot read his name.
Yeah, that is so 1v1. I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly, but since he dropped the pallet gym, the jungle gym earlier, kind of forced to try and play for the locker, which the body
Yeah,
block did successfully come through. So no locker for him. And this is the problem we were talking about earlier. Here comes the slug.
yeah, this is also the problem with tunneling out no either first is it's just initiates a slugfest for the killer, and our killer just has free will of playing like this. So our
That's true.
survivors, yeah, I feel like the no either player rather has to have a really, really aggressive build or be really, really safe.
Billy, why are you not using your chainsaw here? What are you doing?
Just the
Why are we
M1 value.
bloodlusting as Billy? Sure. I don't know if I agree with that. It's like,
I mean, it worked.
I
They
don't
got
know.
the hit, so I'm not complaining.
I mean, yeah, but okay. I guess anyway, whatever. I guess Yui here is forced to play as evil, being thrown away from the main
Yeah,
building.
just holding
We'll just go down H.
max distance here towards 11, edge of 11, and going down here. Just gonna slug this, I believe. No, we're actually taking the pick here.
Yeah. Not really any difference between hooking and picking here. We've just seen the spin burst. I guess they would have assumed that it is the Delhi Unbreak Survivor, which I would dare say they're correct, but we'll find out very shortly because the Delhi will either come in or what. So not
And there we go,
really.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I.
I love how last set we were talking about how medkit is usually placed on the Delhi player, but we saw very person with the medkit, I believe. Yeah, it looked
Yeah,
like
so it's a
very
bit of a
person
mind game thing.
holding the medkit. So yeah, they are trying to get the mind games in, which is working out well. But we do see BL come out here. How do you feel about the use of BL on Gas Heaven?
Now, I believe Gas Heaven is forced to spawn at least one hill. Whether it's like the mid map. Well, it can literally the hill can spawn anyway, so I don't want to talk about it.
Mm,
But I believe actually no, it can't spawn everywhere necessarily because I believe that the spawning locations of the hill are
it's
specifically
one,
made so it
yeah, it's
spawns.
one mid, and there can be one towards the 7 side of the map, I believe. But I don't know. I don't feel like balanced ever gets way too much value on this map, so I personally choose to avoid it when making our builds for my team. But we are just gonna pick up Dub Trouble here, who was our Delhi player. put them on the hook, expecting them to be daily UB, and go play a slugfest on our next two survivors, I believe.
It is a slugfest, but the gen does get done, and the pickup also happens. Probably not unbreakable, given the amount of time that is taken for the pickup to occur. But yeah, talking about again, talking about balance. I don't feel like there's many other perks that are available. I mean, you could play head on, but like, okay, I'm not
Oh,
gonna
head
talk
on
about
is
it.
we don't talk about that one.
We could bring Smash It, which I guess if we're assuming correctly that Levy had to Smash It, then
Was
there would
already
be
brought, yeah.
not many other exhaustions that you could kind of fit on. You could have Dead Hard Balance, and then you could have Smash
Smash
It
hit, sprint
and
burst.
Live and Sprint Burst. So
Yeah.
that would be for survivors with 5 exhaustions, which is fitting quite nicely. But yeah, like the other problem about balance is that there's no hill that can possibly spawn in this current area of the map, which this UE is hooked in, I think. But
Yeah, and
wouldn't
it's
be
pretty hard
wrong.
to make use of your exhaustion. I'm pretty sure the closest hill from here could spawn 7, but even then it just really depends on your RNG, and playing for an RNG based perk, it's like really, really hard to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for our survivors though, we did see that the mid gen actually did have build next to it, so
Yeah.
very person did get value from bounce landing just a bit ago, I believe. But Louis will be securing the death onto you, 2 gens. So we're really looking to try and secure the last 4 generators from popping. Most notably, just this 11 generator and this hill generator here, because this 11 generator did have good progress on it, and we did see survivor around here before. This is actually our friend here, which I don't really know if this is the correct play going for this gen. Since you're the balanced landing player, I don't really know why you wouldn't pressure the gen, which you could literally have balance landing for. Sure, but
Yeah, Fung here just
it's
trying to
okay.
stealth her way out on the edge map, but you can't really do that mid chase, so Fung will be going down and getting slugged as we look for our ace here.
Ace is the last one standing yet again. Most likely no unbreakable available for Ace, since usually you're gonna put Deli unbreakable on the same build. Um, and also we didn't see Fun Book pick us up before, so just the last chase of the game, which probably will secure the 4K2 for Crane here, which is, I guess, the result they're looking for. A tie on the set, which you weren't really expecting to win in the first place, is
Yeah,
definitely nice to have. And we'll have to push it to the tiebreaker set, which is usually you'd guess there's going to be more chances for your team to take it W4, which would, in that case, for temporary, would make it a 4K1. Sorry, it would be a 1-to-1. Sorry, not 4K1. Just yeah, man. Okay, I'm not sure if the motorcycle in the background is supposed to be that loud, but I'm sure probably turn it down.
it's not bothering at all. You're chill.
But yeah, Ace will be able to free drop these 2 midfielders. Oh, actually reading this midfield here. And oh,
Oh, a bit too long of a trade. Very, very unfortunate. And Ace will be going down. Crane being able to tie this set is very, very beautiful. For Crane, very, very well done from Temporary Skiller here. And yeah, let's see if we
actually,
can find very person here.
oh, it is over. Yeah, it is over. Unless very person has managed to crawl all the way over to the shack and managed to secure the hatch. Because they've already been hooked, I believe that bleed out would um, do something to the points. But correct me if I'm wrong, Hearts. It would be Queen 4K2, even if the bleed out occurred.
I think even if the bleed out occurs on the, they aren't death hook, right? They're second
Yeah,
hook.
they've been hooked once.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that'll be a deduction of 2 if they bleed out, meaning that they will
Oh,
most likely, what's it called? This will be a 4K1 result instead.
so this pickup is quite
Yeah,
important.
it's quite
In
important.
fact,
Not a deduction of 2. I mean, more so they'll only gain 1 point for the kill instead of the 3 that they're meant to gain.
which is pretty much a deduction of
Yeah.
2, since Dub did manage to get a clean 4K2 last round,
Oh, but we
but
have
actually,
spotted out our survivor
luckily,
here.
yeah, luckily for Crane here, with around 1 minute to 30 seconds left on the we find Frank here on edge map of 1, so it'll be a tied result in the movie set, 4K2 each. So looking into the tiebreaker set here, actually, um, it's going to be a bit of a fight over this one. Kind of like both sides want to win in any case. So of any set, but
Yeah,
kind of
Temporry's got to make
not.
a really hardcore comeback here to secure what they're looking for tonight because they are eliminated if they do lose this. So we'll be back after a short intermission with our tiebreaker set. I will see you then, Tavi.
Welcome back, everybody, to tiebreaker set of the Mastermind on the Cold Tower 1 now. Temporary's killer will have to be playing first since they did have the first pick of the killer. And the build that I'm looking at actually like this. Kind of like this.
Yeah, I
This
kind of
hero
like
build.
this. You don't see Nowhere too often, and it looks like Alfung is sleeping. Hongshu, wake up time. But yeah, you don't really see Nowhere as much anymore, and I love seeing it on killers with M2 powers because it's usually really unexpected. But yeah, when you're trying to secure a win here, I think Noed is a good player against a good team like Sinister. So we'll see how this does play out. But oh my god, the balance landing getting
Oh,
mind gamed here. This may be a very quick down for Crane, which is exactly what Temporary's killer does need. So yeah, it does look like it's going to be a quick down onto Very Person coming
yeah,
in
it
now.
does seem like a pretty fast down. 60 seconds of the corrupt, but they weren't really pushing anyone else off the generator. So I wouldn't actually be surprised if we saw like a generator perhaps actually finishing if they did actually decide to go for it, but it doesn't seem to be the case. But no pain res. Actually, this is huge because that means if they were doubling a generator, they could get this done, and especially if it's this close generator by the logs, they might have been able to. Okay, or no.
Yeah, being able to just kick this gen here, it seems like that it may be a 2-1 split or a everyone on a different gen, but just off first impressions, it looks like a 2-1 split is what the survivors were doing here.
Yeah, it does seem to be the case. I would agree with that. Cold Tower Wesker is indeed a set that you want to be 2-1 splitting. Actually,
Yeah.
most Cold Tower sets for the A tiers, actually maybe even B tiers and above, you just want to 2-1 split.
Yeah,
Try and
high
break
mobility
any
B tiers.
possibility of 4 gens.
Yeah, high mobility B tiers. I'd say 2-1 split also, but we do see the unhook come through onto very person. Someone was stealthing their way up. They're very slippery, and it looks like we're just gonna go and look for very person again. Make this survivor our tunnel out as early as we can, and play for our best result possible.
Actually going for a Yui here. Oh no, that's not a Yui. That is a non-Japanese Yui, unfortunately. For me anyway, and they'll be taking the life, perhaps. No, that's not life. They'll just take the vault off the matchsticks here. Perhaps trying to chain it into the eye filler, which does get pre-dropped. Correct play there, but I feel like our mastermind play here, they could have perhaps gone for a little bit more. Um, and gotten a double dash on the Eiffel, but seemed to have worked out anyway since Chung is zoned out here with the usage of the egg add-on here, which we haven't really talked about that much. The add-ons, because Wesker's add-ons are kind of like the add-ons which I feel like change the power the most out of pretty much every killer in the comp scene. So yeah, we
I
have the
agree with
egg
you
and
on
the
that.
beetle.
Yeah, egg and beetle can make a large difference. I've never seen the egg beetle combo paired together. I know it's very common, but I've actually never seen it in use. This will be my first time seeing it. I usually see egg medallion or egg crank, so this is new to me. Or even egg and glove,
Yeah, I
sorry.
know. Just the fact that I heard egg and crank, I know heart is not a Noah from that.
Oh,
Because
I know.
in my
I am a
personal
Noah.
opinion,
I am a Noah that it is
okay,
useless, but I still love the combo. Like, as useless as people really
okay.
think it is, I love running it. It's so fun to run because if I'm not running egg and gloves, I'm running egg and crank.
Yeah, I don't really like what Crane's doing here. They are camping out the death here, but I feel like they should be pressuring the topside generators because I feel like this amount of time that's being spent camping the hook would give us survivors enough time to actually get a lot of pressure on our topside forward gen setup here. So I guess although it is nice to secure the death and like not guarantee like an FTB which happens and then lose the tunnel just to make sure that the turnout happens. I guess it's fair to camp a hook, but at the same time, I would not be entirely surprised if this topside 3 generator does get completely decimated and all we're left with is just well, know it, I guess, for the end game and brutal. But how much is brutal really gonna do?
Yeah,
But anyway,
at this point, slugging out, sorry, not slugging out our Felix here, gave very person a lot of time to rotate to a decent side of the map, but even then, it just gives them the time that they need to stall for another gen pop, as we see right here, and it looks like very person will be dead at one gen remaining, which is not ideal for our killer, but let's see how they work. They do got nowhere on their hands, so let's see how that plays out too.
actually, if I remember correctly, very person was a balanced landing survivor. So this is not a survivor you want dead actually for a survivor team.
Yeah,
So it means just means that main will be a lot more difficult to pressure. So they will have to try a 2-1 split here, as I would assume a reset to dub does come in as I think it will be. Oh nope, never mind. This is not a double trouble getting reset because he's in chase. So
yeah,
just
this
a
is
M1
Dub getting found
M2.
out at the back of main and getting spotted, and it looks like we're going to grab Dub through the pallet, throw them onto the wall here towards the two side of the map, and just take our pick.
And now Dub has been spotted over here. This is yeah suddenly not as good for survivors. Guess what?
And that
Because you're
was a
hooked
pain
in
res
the three
too.
gen.
Hooked in 3 gen
Hooked
plus
in the
pain
three
res.
gen.
It's unfortunate, but I'm pretty sure our survivors will be able to come back from this. They are strong survivors, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, if it's one thing that can definitely throw off a killer player or survivor team is confidence. Not having the confidence to chase survivors will really affect your gameplay a lot. Like
Yeah,
just
definitely.
just I feel like I don't know, just like the mental of it comes in. Like you start doubting yourself a lot more on the killer or survivor side. If you're really facing a good team, like you might be in a good position, but then you kind of start like again as I said, like doubting yourself. Like
Yeah,
I
you
mean, they
start
could
to
be doing like
slowly
infinite
crumble.
things at once. Yeah, exactly. So perhaps this is what Crane could be feeling right now. But who knows? Because they are still playing it quite textbook at the moment. Being able to get the
Yeah, and
insta
we see
save
the
onto Dub.
FTP. We see the FTP come through onto Dub here, and we're not even going to go back and try and get Dub out of the game. It looks like we're just going to be committing to Sponge here. Found on the 10 side of the map, we do see the Finesse come through and the Brutal Break trying to zone, but Finesse Life gave us enough distance to get out of there. Now we're at the Ormond Tile on the 9 side of the map. It's taking the Window Vault, trying to cut off Sponge here. Does Sponge have a pallet? Sponge does have the pallet up. Pre-dropping this. Just going to make as much distance towards bottom as possible. In your opinion, would you have broken that pallet?
Yeah, I would have, because this is not a
Yeah,
chase you're going to take when it's easy to know that someone's going to rotate to 11.
good
Like
to know.
by that time, if you had not gotten a tag on Wesker and like you just saw the survivor rotate off the gen, I
Yeah,
mean,
you'd
you
want to
can't
go
commit to
back.
that, right? You want to at least try and defend your 3
Yeah,
gen, even with the Noed. Like, what's the point
especially
of
when
Noed?
you've got Sponge, who is a strong survivor, just running down towards the bottom side of the map towards 7-6. You can't really commit when you've got your
Exactly.
3 gen top here. You need to hold this 3 gen to play for your best result. Because if you commit to that, it's genuinely just a throw, in my opinion.
I would agree with that fully. Like, I was going to say, like, what's the point of Noed when you can
You're
still
gonna commit,
comfortably
yeah.
defend a 3
You
gen,
you
right?
can you can
If
comfortably defend this, sure.
Yeah, you can. And you can just play for tags and actually just play for downs here, as Dub does get found at main. No live, no bounce available for them. Probably, I think this was the spin best player, but if not, they have Smash It, and none of them is going to be active at this point anyway. But actually, unfortunately for Quinn here, missing the second dash opportunity onto Dub, and
Yeah,
they'll
but
just
still
take the
going to be
M1
able
instead.
to take the M1 here as Dub Trouble does start to run towards the bottom side of the map. I believe we're going to commit for one more tag, knowing we have a little bit of time, but we do see Leverly here, I believe is their username. I cannot read that well. Getting hit here, I
That's
believe we're
okay.
going to be able to commit to this. No, we're just going to... Are we? What are we? We're getting a bit scared, Crane. What are we doing? Looks like we
I
spotted
mean, I
Dub
like what Quinn's doing
rotating.
here.
Yeah, I believe we spotted Dub out in this tile here on this Ormond tile, and we're gonna just try and play for a quick down on Dub maybe. No, just gonna go back
Just heading
up
back
and
topside.
defend that 3 gen. Very, very nice from Crane here. Not trying to panic too
Yeah.
heavily, but we do spot Sponge out here running towards the one side of the map, back of main currently, and they're just gonna hold distance here and just keep trying to pressure this gen every time Crane makes any opportunity to slightly commit to someone.
He needs the tag onto Sponge here
Yeah,
because
just to
the
force
other
them to all
survivors are
reset.
already resetting. Yeah, it's just if you don't get the tag here as the mastermind, then you're just in such a bad spot. You just need to force the survivors, as you're saying, just to reset and just not be able to pressure that 11 side generator.
Yeah, agreed with
So
you.
I think this will
Definitely on
come
that.
in.
Oof, and a little bit of a ping diff there, and we see the hit come through. But I don't believe our survivors. I was just gonna say I don't believe our survivors were resetting because I saw the infection come through into Leveler, but it does look like they did actually reset here towards the 7 side of the map. And we're gonna get a beautiful down in the top side into our 3-gen split, and I believe this is our last pain risk too. So this is gonna be very, very good for Crane here. Probably gonna be able to secure a 4K1 even.
Yeah, it's definitely possible to secure this 4K one. This hook is very loosely in the 3 gen, but again, we did see a levy spray, and we also saw the reset, the double reset come through. So they are still trying to attack this 11 generator, which I do think is good for them. Just preventing the aggression, of course, saves you the rest of the 50% that the generator has. But this is unfortunately Dub, which is not necessarily the one that you
Saga
want to
in
be
the
on the gen.
locker, and it is the
Yeah, I was
head
gonna
on.
say it's got to be
Oh
a head
my
on, man.
god. It's
And
insane. We
yeah,
saw
you
the
can
head on
chase
quick and
this now
quiet
since
combo.
the other survivors. Yeah, we saw Felix rotating to the gen, so you can pretty safely chase this, get the kill onto Dub here. No more head on is gonna be active, of course, because you don't have time for 3 seconds for it to activate. So I think it would be a clean kill. And it looks like a 4K one here. I don't think they have any other pressure on the generators. So.
I mean, this could possibly be a 4K0, but as I say that, we do see both survivors running to the back of main as we saw them try to double out this gen. Not enough pressure on this gen for them to pop just yet. We only see 2.5 bars of progress on the generator. So it looks like we're going to go back into main here, try and spot out Sponge, who is injured, and then try and look for our healthy survivor.
Yeah, I think the key turning point was getting that fast down onto Renato because really, if the survivors had managed to reset like every kind of second that you buy for the chase time, if you're in Renato, of course, every second of chase time you buy kind of gives the other survivors like an extra second of generator time. It really does add up because we saw that generator was very close to completion multiple times throughout this entire trial, but just was never really able to pop due to other other factors happening like getting hooked in 3 gen, then getting
Yeah.
chased off it, and then no one can rotate to it because it's injured and so on. So yeah, unfortunately, Sponge will just be spotted out here on the 2 tile. Me, it's the last chase, everyone.
Yeah, this is looking like a 4K1 by all means, unless Sponge just, like our killer goes a little bit blind here and Sponge pops the last gen, but it doesn't seem like that'll happen. Just playing for his best chase possible here, trying to, get those little bragging style points. Those flex
Maybe who will be
points.
coming?
All brutal
The
break, but we do
4K.
see our survivor run down towards the 5 side of the map here. Do they make anything though? That's the real question.
They will make a live window actually, and that might. Okay, I was gonna say they might ensure them that they make the hatch, but it's a Wesker, so unfortunately you can't really camp the
Yeah.
hatch if you're against the Wesker, so especially if you're not in the injured state anyway. If you're healthy, maybe you can, but not when you're injured. So it'll be a 4K one for oh my gosh, I was gonna say malevolence. What I'm saying. Anyway, 4K one going into the next set. We'll have to see what Sinister's killer can do then, but go into a short intermission before we see that. Welcome back, everybody, to what could again potentially be the last set of this best of two. Sorry, not best of two, best of three. Sorry, my bad. First to two is what I meant to say, as we see Sinister's killer on the mastermind on the Cold Tower one, breaking the main door, I guess, to put it simply, and perhaps taking a power dash on a survivor, or maybe not, because spotting Hawk here as well. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
and,
but the
and another
beautiful
head on.
head-on does come through. That is absolutely insane. But now it looks like we're going to be committing to our head-on survivor, knowing that they have no more exhaustion to use in their chase here. So we're just able to commit to them freely for now. And it looks like we're going to get a beautiful miss, unfortunately. Very, very nice from our survivor. Very nice pathing from our Zarina here. Just going to make distance as far as they can towards this tile here over on the 10 side of the map, 9 side of the map, sorry. And just see how well they can play and stall out their chase.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the survivor side at this point, really the only person who's been on gens this entire time is the Nia, and actually predicting the quick and quiet vault, which I think is quite smart from Levy. They're completely aware of the existence of quick and quiet, so not getting or taking the 50 to like kind of get the mind game off that. But yeah, actually does spawn Nia on the 7 gen, so it'll be a hook
Yeah,
right
we
next to the
did.
active gen.
We did see Zarina on the head-on, so I'm assuming we saw the combo of head-on quick and quiet expected from Levelier here. And it looks like we're going to be committing to... I believe this will be Nia at Shaq here. It is Nia. But we're just trying to hold our hook, our gen, and our commit. And we do know where... I believe that was... Altorb, sorry, who got found on the 5 side of the map. We slightly saw them there on the edge of the screen. But it looks like Nia will be taking chase there.
And actually managing to get some pop value on Shaq as well, so making use of the pop before it goes out, also getting the eruption on the Shaq generator, so this is quite good for him. Actually, wow, this is actually a pretty insane 3-gen for Mastermind on the bottom side, but as I say that, as I say that, the 5-gen pops, of course. So now we're left with the classic Cold Tower, Gen 3-gen top and very loose 3-gen bottom now, because I'd say that this Logs gen is a bit little bit out of the 3-gen
Yeah, but I
meta.
think as
Um,
Mastermind, this 3-gen is still very holdable, especially with a killer with such high rotation and mobility. But it looks like we do get 2 free hits for our unhook here, and we're just going to commit to Zarina for our down.
Yeah, Communicator is definitely the play. You kind of want to force the resets here. If you get the down on the Survivor here, you can kind of push us back into your gen setup on the bottom side. But actually, Zavina will make the vault since Levier does get stuck for no reason. I would say just a bit of a bug there. Maybe it's to do with the FPS, but luckily for him, Azavina does continue to run bottom side, kind of zone towards this. There's not really any reason to go elsewhere for the Zavina. But yeah, it does get the nice double dash now, securing the down on Shaq, and we do see 2 survivors here. So maybe just greeting a little bit for a tag onto either one, but deciding to pick up. Oh, and taking the basement hook. That's kind of fair, but I think our other survivor, the Claudette, is kind of has to be working on one of the topside generators. So I wouldn't be surprised if I saw one of them pop with this time.
Yeah, completely agree with you. Checking lockers, expecting someone to be around here, but it doesn't look like we spot anyone out just yet. So we're just going to be chilling here. We are able to hold our loose region on the bot side of the map here, while also having a survivor in the basement.
You know, I was gonna say Levy is not a Noah, but I like what he did there because the existence of the Kamatech is very scary on the kill side if you're not paying attention to how long the
The
hook
hook
bar
timer,
progresses.
yeah, the camera tech is a bit insane. Just being around in a locker, procking camera, it's very stupid, and it works out so well sometimes when
Yeah.
killers just aren't paying too much attention or don't really have anyone IGLing them.
Yeah, I remember there's like this very famous, sorry, not very famous. There's another comp DVD video. Surprise, I do watch quite a lot of comp DVD, but there's one of the comp DVD videos where they saw I think Ariandel versus Elysium, where I think it was a singularity set and or something. I don't entirely know the set, but they just kept on like I think Pedro managed to get into the basement and just started camera attacking the survivor, and it took like 2 minutes for the survivor to reach the second stage
Yeah,
from the
that's
first
that's
stage, and
absolutely insane.
it's just funny to see it happen. So I think Levy checking the lockers there was this I guess the smart and safe play just to prevent any stupid gamma tech from happening, which I respect now. But now
Yeah,
checking these lockers.
yeah. Didn't see anyone at the back of the tile, therefore just checking lockers and kicking this gen as it is about 95%.
Yeah, this is a nice gen to get eruption on, but you kind of need the down for the eruption to happen, and uh, I would just give up this gen at this point. There's not really any reason to look for anyone. You're kind of giving up generated progress on the opposite side of the map. You don't find the person here, it's just really bad, and they're probably just going to rotate and get a gen done anyway. So,
Yeah, very very good point.
oh, is it topside 3 gen decimated though? Kind of gone, but we're kind of left with like this. Yeah, it is decimated now anyway. So we're still left with this kind of loose 4 gen. And Levy's now going to play out the Z Wall. Nia actually being the Z Wall warrior here, and actually, oh, this is not a Nia. This is it's not a Nia. My bad. And
Yeah,
oh my
we
gosh, that's
taking
actually Logs
chase.
gen as well.
Taking chase onto our Claudette here, who is running towards the 6 side of the map, deep 6 ideally, just trying to make as much distance as they can. But just going to have to play the edge map rocks here. And there we go. Now we see a Nia come in and take a hit. and our Claudette's just gonna make as much distance as they possibly can towards the A side of the map. Do they have a pallet here? They do have a pallet here, but they're greeting for another hit to come through. That is very, very nice.
I don't really know what the sizing are doing here. It's just a bit of a clown fest, as I would say. Oh, I guess Tap has bounce landing, but no, it's not bounce landing. Okay.
Dual Beetle, I
So
believe. No, not. I
it's a
can't
bit
see
of a
the
clown
add-ons. What
fest.
is the add-on combo right now? I cannot
Okay,
see.
add-on combo, which
It's
actually we'll just
gloves
have to talk about it.
and
Yeah, it's gloves and the tendril, which in
Angel. Okay, okay.
respect. Um, but hey, I mean, look, whatever those survivors just did, like that clown fest of whatever that was, kind of worked out. I guess
I think they were maybe
Claudette
trying to
managed to reset.
avoid pain res maybe onto Claudette or her dying in the 3 gen.
Perhaps, I guess. But it's also potentially the inner healing that probably came off on Claudette just then. But oh no, that's not inner healing. That's just a full reset for both. Okay, so Levy will just take the down onto near here. And I guess we have to take stock of the situation. Now, this is the first hook that has come into the game, or into the trial since Zarina just died on the hook. So you're not really looking at any weak links except for the near here, because of course they're not going to have the additional health state that our other survivors have.
Not
Being
only
Joker,
that, being on the bottom side of the map in the 3 gen, that is the survivor that you want out. You want the survivor dead in your 3 gen if possible, before they make it to main, because they do have one less health state than their teammates. Their teammates, if they are found here, they can just make as much distance to top as they can, compared to Nia, where if she is unhooked, body blocked, found here, down again, then that's it. It's just over.
yeah, I'd agree. Unfortunately for us on our side, it's going to be a bit more difficult for them to try and get that win condition met of a 4K0. But of course, actually managing to find the rotation does Levy here. So perhaps just taking the injury onto tap, which would be a pretty big deal since forcing the 32 seconds of team time for the reset onto tap is kind of necessary if you want to attack this region. So I think I would expect an unhook to occur, but actually might not be the case. So Claudia is just sacrificed. Our survivor team has sacrificed the second hook stage and also the health state to try and get some percentage points into this generator. We see, I think that's perhaps the second piston pop turning. So actually pretty decent progress going on. But knowing that we have an injured survivor as well who kind of can't go for the save now, I think Levy here is just content to cap out the gen.
And it looks like we're doing exactly that. Just gonna hold our 3 gen, and we see Tab trying to pressure this while injured. Tab is just the GOAT, the one and only, just trying to assert his dominance on this gen for some reason, which is very, very risky, but you do you, Tab.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can do with the sprint burst, and we do see the unhook come in onto knee here, but actually successfully managing to body block here. I don't entirely know if there's a big difference here, but I guess there was because we did see some interesting hits going on earlier. But yeah, managing to get out of basement safely here is pretty big. Like more time for our tap to get the gen done, and actually a Claudette here will take the throw edge map to protect Nia, who's Deathlock here. But I think at this point, Levy kind of just doesn't care who they go for, because everyone's injured. So really, you could just get anyone here. It's good for Levy. And actually, yeah, again, deciding to leave, pressure tap off the gen, and yeah, I don't know. This game is getting in everyone's head, but tap unfortunately at 50 and faking the window. Good try, but didn't work out unfortunately. And
Yeah,
I think
very
Levy here will
unfortunate.
now take the painters. So those are the 3 gen. It will be 20% off that gen, and there's no real other gen as progress at this point. So yeah, it'll be quite painful for our survivors. 20%. They do want to try and repair it. Guess what? There's a pop as well, so not great for them. No, and is our death hook being found on the Tower 3? But does it really matter at this point? Because really, I think Levy here could just slug. So chasing Nia is not necessarily needed, especially when Claudette could be working that logs gen. So I'll be scared of that if I was Levy. Oh, and actually, yeah, it does. Oh my god.
That is such an
No!
unfortunate dash.
no. This is painful to watch, man. It just gets it's unfortunate, but does manage to get a double dash onto Nia. Very luckily for Levy here. And I assume it's the painters as well, so I don't think this gen's gonna get done at all. Actually, this will just look like a 4K1 then. 4K1 tie for both killers, so perhaps push it back to the Billy set. But again, anything could happen. It's not impossible for survivors to stealth perfectly and force the 8 regression kicks and actually manage to get the last generator done. I don't think it's likely. Does seem like the motorcycle outside stopped revving their engines. So still a bit of noise going on though. So might have to close my window after this and during the intermission. But we do see the reset onto both survivors coming through, but they do need to get a spray, one each. So really, Levy should know where they are. Very soon, as the spray should come in very soon. Both are fully infected now, so you kind of have to spray. You can't risk being tapped here. This is a pun. You can't risk being tapped by the Wesker here with the full infection. So you want to get a spray down, and the spray does come in, but for the health state from Claudette here. So really, the spray kind of did nothing, but at least they can maybe coordinate for a reset. But actually, Tap hasn't sprayed yet, which I kind of like. Oh, they just sprayed now. Okay, but he has been burst, so maybe you can get out of this without losing the health state. But he has popped the spin burst at this point because we saw scratch marks. So the spin burst has been used. You're never going to display scratch marks if you're not holding the shift key or whatever your sprint key is. So, I think Levy will just try and get a tag into him and oh. No.
I believe he's just trying to stall for as long as possible to see a gen pop, maybe.
I
Could be
mean, look,
possible.
it's not impossible for a gen to pop, and yeah, Levy's kind of getting in their own head, as they're just missing a lot of dashes by now, and they've just kind of been behaviored, as we call it in the business. I'd say at least 5 times, or that's what it's felt like, as they just miss a lot of dashes, which either just been, yeah, I don't know. I feel like they shouldn't have missed, but anyway. We do find scratch marks here at the 9 tile, so Claudette here kind of forced to play off this perhaps live on the window. And maybe, no, live, but kind of just forced to play this 50-50 tile and loses this 50. So we'll try FOV, but will not come through and the down will happen. And actually a pickup will also occur onto Claudette here. Perhaps just getting a pain resonance onto Claude because I believe she's the last pain resonance left. So taking the pain res and maybe perhaps also going to try and overreach and look for tap at this point because you do need to secure the full 3 stages onto tap with no bleed out. Otherwise, there would be not a tie, it would be a 1 or 2 temporary because they would take the set. So then it would be back into the Hillbilly set as the tiebreaker pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, anything is possible in this moment. We do have our fresh hook survivor on the hook here, and our injured survivor who has to play the 1v4. So let's see how they play this out. Sorry, the 1v1.
Look, if I was the survivor here, what I would do is I'd just left Shack in, but unfortunately, he does check Shack. But yeah, yeah, it's a bit tough for the survivor to really do anything. I'd say definitely the smartest play is to work the gen because like if the killer has absolutely no idea where you are, then it's kind of scary because you could be at a gate, you could be at Shack trying to get Hatch. You could also be like stealthing for the unhook, or you could just be sitting a gen. And I know it's like the stupid play, but realistically, it's the play that can win you the game. And so there's not really any reason to not take the potential win condition when you're in a losing position, you know? So I think that's what I would be doing if I was the tap in this situation.
Yeah, I agree with you.
but we don't see any signs of any life whatsoever around. So I think our Tapia is probably just going to be stealthing out the entire end game, trying to perhaps get the gate open because that would be the current win condition for the survivors, just getting any amount of stages out of the door. So the two stages that would be taking out of the door would be sufficient enough for the victory. We see the split of the gates, not really that good for Wesker here, but actually, yeah, not being able to get line of sight from both immediately. So there might actually be chances for Atapia to get the gate open. Oh, but actually, it might be able to get the gate open. That's the third light ticking. I think it'll be quite close. Maybe they had resilience as possible for them to get out, but unfortunately, it will go down. So we'll be forcing this back into the Billy set, where I guess it'll be still 1-0, but again, still hopes up for Temple. They have not lost the second set yet, so they're still in the game when it comes down to set points. So yeah, taking the 4K1 mirror and also the 4K2 mirror on the Billy previous trial, I'm actually curious to see whether any of the Billies decide to swap out their perk choices. What do you think, Arts?
Oh, sorry, what was
Oh.
that? I couldn't hear you for a second.
What do you think about the perk choices? Do you think they're going to switch anything up for the Billy set?
I think this has gone to overall points, to be honest with you.
Overall points? Oh,
Yeah, I'm
it's gone
pretty
to
sure
overall
this
points.
this did go to overall points.
Hmm.
So it's 2-0, I believe.
It'll be 2-0. Interesting. Okay. Well, that'll be Sinister taking the victory then over Temporary, actually, in a 2-0, which I actually thought it would have been a 1-0 and then a second set of the Billy, but
Yeah, I did
maybe I'm getting
too.
stuck in two different leagues. Okay, well, in that case, Sinister taking the 2-0, lucky for them not having to play out a third set, potentially actually losing the overall series 2-1, but that won't be the case. They've taken it 2-0 over Temporary, so well played to them. We'll be seeing you in the next match. Six Hearts, thank you for casting with me.
No, no, thank you,
It's
thank
been
you.
nice to have another caster casting. Oh man, I don't have to
You're no
change as
longer
much.
lonely.
Yeah, I know.